am I gonna get these years back that I'm putting in for something that's not guaranteed? Whether people believe you or not, it comes down to if you believe it. This is Adam Waheed in Making a Portrait. Earliest memory, the day I was born. I remember, growing up I was like a super big troublemaker. Like I would always get in trouble in class. Like even in kindergarten I would get in trouble. I would always say something or always speak up. I never raised my hand. I would always just call out. I would always just speak without raising my hand. And I remember I got sent out of a class one time. I think it was in 4th grade. I was that guy that would walk around the hallways and get everybody out of their classrooms. That was me. You know, comedy was also something that I always was known for, you know. It was just something that I was naturally good at. I wasn't always the best at sports, but comedy always seemed to be the one thing that I was always good at, that was effortless for me. And just growing up, like even through middle school and high school, I was class clown, or I got voted as class clown in my schools. And you know, that's just something that always came natural to me. I still miss high school. I wouldn't mind going back. Life was easy. So I moved out to LA to be an actor, and at the time I only knew one guy, and he was like, hey, I'll hire you to be my assistant, and you know, I'll help you show you the ropes and introduce you to some people, and you know, you can try to, you know, get your feet off the ground. So I moved out here. I actually moved out to Long Beach, which at the time I didn't even know is like an hour away from LA. And I didn't have a car either, so I was taking the bus and train every single day. First one at 5:30 in the morning, and then I take the last one back at midnight. And I was trying to get a manager, I was trying to get an agent, I was trying to get auditions, and just nothing was working for me, you know. It was just so saturated, everyone was trying to do what I was trying to do. And I did that for a year and a half, and I was just super down, super depressed, and I was ready, you know, at the time I had a college degree, so I was like, you know, my mom was telling me, move back to New York, like you could get a job. And you know, I kind of gave up at that point. And the last thing that I saw people creating stuff online on social media, and I was like, well, let me try that. Maybe I can make my own stuff, and maybe that'll work. And I never filmed anything before. I never picked up a camera. I've never even acted, nothing. I couldn't afford to go to acting classes. I was just winging it. I would download videos of other creators, and I would watch them thousands of times, and I'd be like, oh, where's he cutting? Like, oh, what is he doing here? Like, where's the joke? And I was like, I'm gonna make my own video. It took me almost 4 months to make my first video. You know, I would get someone to shoot it, and then once I booked that person, the actor that I needed couldn't make it that day. And then I'd get an actor, and then the person who shoot it couldn't make it that day. And then I get both people, and then my boss would call me because it was an on-call job, right? And then one time I shot the whole video and it came out blurry. I didn't know what I was doing, right? And I finally finished the video, and it took me like almost a month just to edit it. We're talking about a 1-minute video. This is not like anything crazy. A 1-minute video, and I posted it, and it got 93 views. And I was like, this is impossible. Like, it took me 4 or 5 months to make one video, and only 93 people watched it. Like, that's it. I'm just gonna move back to New York, and I'm just gonna get a job. And I was like, I might as well just finish out the month. And while I'm here, look, might as well make a few more videos. Why not? It was tough. I mean, of course, like I thought of giving up tons of times. Like, you record yourself, and then you edit it, and you're like, this sucks. I hate this. This is not a good idea. And then you're spending money that you don't have. I'm spending money that I don't have on props and, you know, getting things for my videos. At that point, people are just doing favors for you, right? Because you can't compensate them with money. So, you know, for people to trust you, to trust the idea, for you to, you know, all those things ran through my mind while I was doing it. And, you know, and the 4th video that I did, I posted in the morning, and by nighttime I had 1,000 views, which is a lot, you know? I had 300 followers. And I was like, oh wow, like that's kind of cool. Like, I got 1,000 views on a video. So I went to bed, and that next morning it had 400,000 views. And I'm like, what the hell happened last night? And Ludacris posted my video, World Star, like you name it, just a bunch of big pages. And my page grew from like 300 followers to 7,000 followers. And I was like, all right, that's it, this is what I'm doing. And I quit my job as an assistant, I moved to North Hollywood, and I just started shooting. I wasn't making any money at all. I just started shooting, and a bunch of other big creators started to reach out. And they were like, hey, we want to shoot a video with you. And they would invite me to shoots, and I'd show up and act like I knew what I was doing. I had no clue. It kind of all happened like overnight, but mainly just because of, all the work that I put in to making videos and just, taking that step to just doing it and not waiting around for someone to give me an opportunity, and more so making an opportunity. But I think the hardest thing is just the mystery of, what are you really creating for? Is there that end goal? Are you gonna reach it? How are you gonna reach it? And you never quite reach it how you think you're gonna reach it. However you have it set in your mind of like, I'm gonna do it like this, it never works out that way. You're creating something and you could put everything you have into it and there's no formula. It might never pan out to what you want it to be. So I think the hardest thing is just the mystery of, what are you really creating for? Is there that end goal? Are you gonna reach it? How are you gonna reach it? And you never quite reach it how you think you're gonna reach it. However you have it set in your mind of like, I'm gonna do it like this, it never works out that way. And that was just one of the struggles I had going through, like, is this gonna be worth it? Is it gonna be worth it? Is this even good? Am I wasting my time? Am I gonna get these years back that I'm putting in for something that's not guaranteed? And I think it comes down to whether people believe you or not, it comes down to if you believe it, right? And that was the ultimate factor for me that set me over the top, that got me to where I am. One of the most important things that I learned is when I was a personal assistant, that was my job, right? And in my off time, I was searching how to create videos, how to make videos, shoot videos. That's what I was doing in my off time, right? Until that off time became my main thing, right? So now it's my main thing, and now I'm focused on something else in my off time that'll eventually be my main thing. So I think it's so important when you do have a job, that's your job, right? Personal assistant was my job. But what you do in your off time is what determines, where you end up going. I think as a creative, we all never think we quite made it yet. But, sometimes I sit back and I'm just super proud of my accomplishments and how far I've come, from where I was at. Because, the point that I'm at now is a point where I wanted to be in the past. And then when you get to that point, you have a higher goal. So, every once in a while I do sit back and I'm just super thankful for everything that I have accomplished. And it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's exciting to go out and for people to know who you are. And, a lot of times when I first started, I was in that stage and people were like, I know you from somewhere. I don't know, where do I know you from, So I always catch people, I'm like, yep, it's me. How you doing? So it's exciting, it's fun. I think that's the biggest change when I go out, just people recognizing you. I take a picture with everybody no matter what, especially if I'm doing like a meet and greet or something, I'll make sure I take a picture with every single person there, especially if somebody's coming out of their way to recognize you for your talent and appreciate, your craft. And a lot of times people stop me and they say that, hey, I was going through something. I was depressed and, your 1 minute of videos got me through my day. Sometimes watching your videos is an escape to, what I'm going through. And things like that, motivate me to just keep making more videos. That's like the greatest thing to hear, because being able to change someone's mood, especially somebody who's not going through the best of times, through a video, a silly video, is, just a great feeling for both people. I wish I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. I spent a lot of time, and maybe that was part of the reason why I am where I am now. But, I found myself doing sports and other things, and I wish I would have just knew my true calling was comedy and acting much earlier on in life. And that I would have embraced it more. Biggest advice I would give myself and anybody who's trying to do anything is to just start. A lot of times, I would make an excuse, or I would say, oh, I gotta wait till, I have this. I have to wait till I have this camera. I have to wait till I learn this editing software. Or I have to wait until I could get this person in my video. And I spent so much time waiting around, and I spent so much time waiting for excuses and waiting for this perfect moment that never exists. And, the biggest advice I would tell myself is just start. Just jump in the fire and you figure it out as you go along. Something I live by is 3 words: ask, believe, receive. And it's so important, visualization and just putting things out in the universe and truly believing it, not just saying you believe it, feeling it is the most important thing. And that's honestly what's gotten me so far. Asking, believing, and receiving.